Hi, my name is Jeremy Boyle, and this is my second update for my research experience this summer with Los Alamos National Laboratory and the Texas A&M Department of Materials Science and Engineering. In my first update video, I discussed the objective of this project, which is all about creating a method, procedure, and tools for analyzing these tests of hyperelastic materials. And in that way, they're combining both the mechanical dynamics of material science and of the statistical rigor that is necessary for any kind of analysis of experiment. This is an updated workflow, so it is built on the previous slide, but more detailed and updated since the first update. So in the first update, we did a lot of the data extraction and fitting, as well as the computation of the response variable, those first two boxes. Since then, a lot of the work has been done in that third box there, which is all about identifying outliers, interactions, and patterns. And then next steps we'll talk about more will be things like rigorous group comparisons and organization of this data. Before we go into that third box, though, I do want to talk about a different kind of test, because in the first update, I only touched on data that is of tension tests, so that is pulling the material apart. We also have data available that is of compression, so just uniaxial compression. And I want to talk about the response variable for that. So briefly, this is a test data in black, and a curve we fitted to it in blue, and we just fit to a certain section of it, the 50% to the 95% stress values. And then from there, we chose a value that was, we chose a tangent modulus, so a slope of the derivative of that line that we took as a metric there. So the slope of that line is a response variable for our compression test that we'll use momentarily in our process going forward here. The third step in that process that was shown 2 slides ago was all about identifying outlying data, comparing means, variances, interactions, correcting for anomalies and these outliers. So here's an example of the tools that might be used to recognize outliers. So this is a measure of strain energy. So that is obtained by integrating the stress strain curve of the tension test data here, and at different test temperatures here. So we're comparing the results from different test temperatures. And as you can see from these plots, both the left and the right, there is something unusual happening, or there's something at least anomalous happening at the -50 test. This may be because of a glass transition temperature happening at that case. Besides those comparisons of test variance and outliers, also we've built some tools that are identifying factors that are not having a large effect on the test data. So in our case, this is compression data. Again, we have tangent modulus as a response variable, and based on where the sample was cut out of the larger, we could say the ream of the test material, or the large batch that was manufactured, that where it was cut from it is not having a large effect, right? And so that's useful for the manufacturers to know that this consistency is pretty constant, at least in this regards. On the right side is a plot that attempts to unpack some of the interactions between factors, right? Because these tests have a lot of factors going towards them, and so it's necessary that we make some tools that are helping analyzers unpack how factors may be interacting with each other, right? Finally, we'll run through our next steps for this project. First up, we want to tackle that box 4 on that flow process. That's going to be rigorous group comparisons. That's a really crucial step in this process. Also, we want to look at multivariate comparison of variables. So this plot here is our fledgling work on that. So that's comparing two response variables that want to just stress and strain. We want to look at covariate analysis and regression models. So modeling those regressions of continuous variates. We want to organize things by tabulating our outputs. And we want to finally make recommendations to make future analyses and experiments even stronger.